Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Halliday-Schmant and I'm the Director of the Northwest Michigan Coalition to End Homelessness. Today we're going to be offering a webinar related to the FY23 HUD COC program competition. We'll be going over the timeline for the competition, which will be a little bit subject to change because the NOFO has not been released yet. But we'll be going over the timeline, the intent to apply letter, the renewal application, and the renewal application scoring guide. So hopefully this will make it easier for you if you are a renewal applicant to complete all of the necessary documentation in order to get an on-time submission. So I am going to turn off my video and we will start going through the timeline. So here we're looking at the FY23 HUD COC program competition timeline. Here you have who you can contact if you need more information. So if you need information related to the competition or have questions about something you want to submit, that would be me, the director, and then you have the information there. If you have some questions about reporting functions or performance scorecards, things like that, reach out to Jace, our system administrator for our homeless management information system. Your HUD reps can also be good resources for you from the field office. If these have changed, please let me know and we can update this. But as of today, the 24th of April, 2023, this is who your reps are. And then other resources, you of course have the coalition website where you can find everything related to the competition, and then the HUD COC program competition website. And that will be updated throughout the course of the summer. So let's get into the timeline. Again, this is subject to change because the Notice of Funding Opportunity, or NOFO, has not been released yet. The competition starts by COCs being required to register through the FY23 program. I've already done that and that's been completed. So check mark there. Next, the HUD SNAPS office sends the GIW, which is the Grant Inventory Worksheet. And that will take us through a spreadsheet that will tell us exactly how much we're able to apply for related to renewals. And you all, if you're a renewal applicant, will check that over, tell me, yes, it's fine, or no, there needs to be changes. We'll communicate those changes or the approval with the field office. That has not been released yet. So once that comes out, I will be asking you to review your grant numbers in that alongside all the funding. You'll let me know if they're okay. Once I hear back from everyone, I will sign and submit it to our field office. The next step we've already completed, which was last week at the Coalition Steering Committee. We reviewed all of the HUD renewal applications and the scoring methodology. Not much has changed from last year. We reviewed our debriefing from HUD related to our COC collaborative application, and we scored very well on that section. So we're keeping things generally the same, but again, if something changes due to the NOFO, I will let you know. And then May 1st, the Coalition Steering Committee and Executive Committee will be meeting together to be setting our funding priorities for fiscal year 23 related to HUD and ESG. So more to come. So here's where you really want to pay attention to the timeline. All renewal right now. Because the NOFO has not been released, we're not going to get into new or bonus applications, only thinking about renewal applications right now. So the renewal application intent to apply instructions and letter was sent out this morning, the 24th. Applicants who wish to renew their grants. So if you have a current HUD grant through the COC competition, you are Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency, Northwest Michigan Supportive Housing, and Goodwill Northern Michigan. If you're one of three of those agencies, you need to submit this intent to apply Even if you don't want to renew something, you need to indicate that on the form. Through steering committee, I believe everyone is set to renew all of their projects pending the NOFO and what will be allowed to do related to the YHDP projects. But as of right now, today, the 24th of April, please indicate if you will be able to reallocate YHDP, what you'd potentially like to do, but if not, just indicate that on the form. Let me know your plans, if it's available. If it's not available, let me know your plans. So either way, we'll talk about, or I'm sorry, either way you'll indicate your renewal intent. Those application intent to apply letters are due to me by May 1st. So you have, what is that? About a week to complete just the intent to apply. Next, the renewal applications will be released. Those will be released hopefully today. So I can stay up with this timeline. Those will then be due to me by the 15th of May. So released the 24th, due the 15th. And then myself, Jace, our system admin, and Angela, our person with lived experience rep on our steering committee, will work to score those. We'll average them out. Those will be completed by May 29th. And then you will receive your scores on the 29th. We'll review the scores at steering committee, and that's also when the appeals process will start. If you get your renewal score back and you'd like to appeal the scoring or some of the decision, you can do so through the appeals process found on the coalition website. That will be due June 2nd, so that we can review everything, or that the appeals can be reviewed by the steering committee the week of June 5th. Since I've been doing this in 3 years, or I guess that we've been now through 2 competitions, we haven't had an appeal, but that doesn't mean we can't. So if you do have some questions or reason to appeal, please do so, and we'll get that taken care of. What else do I want to say here? Oh, I just want to note that even though the renewal applications will be reviewed and scored in the month of May, you still have 1 more month on your quarterly performance scorecards to go. So the last month of the quarterly performance scorecards, it actually ends on June 30th and isn't due, that last quarter isn't due until July 15th. So that we won't have a full breadth of the competition ranking and ratings until we get that done. So right now, all we're doing through the competition is getting these local renewal processes out of the way so that that is done. And when the NOFO comes out, we have time to focus on that, the collaborative application, and then we'll do rating and ranking once the quarterly performance scorecard window has closed. Let me know if you have questions on that. And then I won't go through everything else yet because it hasn't happened. So we are really waiting on the release of the Notice of Funding Opportunity, or the NOFO. That is the document from HUD SNAP's office that will review all of the things you can apply for, how you can apply for new or bonus applications, whether or not we'll be able to reallocate YHDP funding, or if that funding will be competitive. If you remember in years past, YHDP funding has been non-competitive, so it has just been an automatic renewal. So we'll see. Once all that comes out, we'll start submitting these things into eSNAPs, which is the online electronic database that you submit all of this work to HUD through. That process will start again after we have the NOFO and more information. All of these things will start after that, and we will do a new video and new training guides related to all of this information once it becomes available. So now I'm going to move on to the intent to apply form. Right, here is our intent to apply form. Make this a little bit bigger. So if you have a HUD grant right now and you want to renew it, you need to fill out this form and get it to me by May 1st. This will be for all projects currently funded through the COC with grant expiration dates in calendar year 2024, including projects electing not to renew through the 2023 competition. But really what you need to know is the grants you're working on right now. The one of those, which ones will expire in 2024 calendar year, and that's what we're writing renewals for. I know the years and the timeline gets confusing with the HUD competition. Just let me know if you have any questions. There are no stupid questions related to the HUD COC competition. It's very cumbersome and very confusing, so please reach out. So you're just gonna type in name of renewal project, agency name, the grant number, and that's the grant number as it exists today. I believe those change with the year, so as that exists today, but just make sure the name, the naming convention is the same as everything that we have listed. So then you're going to indicate the component type for this existing grant. I referenced the FY22 NOFO here if you're unsure, but indicate that. Then down here is where you're going to indicate if you intend to apply for renewal of existing project at the current amount, that would be no change. If, you know, and I said this at steering committee the other day, if your grant changes because of FMRs or something, so it won't be exactly the current amount, that's okay. Just put no change, current amount. We'll, you know, that will change as we get there, but we don't know that yet. Really here, what we're trying to figure out is if you want to consolidate all of your projects into one, if you want to do huge budget amendments and things like that. But if not, and you just want to keep it the same, it would be no change. If you want to reduce, you would click here and then type out information related to reducing it. If you want to expand the grant, so if you would intend to apply for renewal of existing project and request to expand the amount of funds, click that. If you want to reallocate the whole thing, click here. Meaning you don't want to apply for it again. Okay, so if you had a grant that you just want to eliminate from your portfolio and offer it up to the entire COC where we can determine where to reallocate it, that's where you click if that's the case. If you aren't sure because it's a YHDP project, so for example, if NMCA, for example, wanted to consolidate their rapid rehousing projects, you could put that, I would just indicate that here. So please let me know if there's no change to your projects, click that, and then just if you would please type here if you want to add a note about if allowable, we would like to consolidate. If not, there's no change, something like that, just so I'm aware. And then down here we have the project budget if there's big changes and if it's reduced. It says you can't move funding from one budget category to another. This is assuming we have a GIW out and we don't. So if you want to do a reduction in your budget, please indicate that here. So all of this is the same as last year as well. And fill that out and get it to me by May 1st. Okay, the next document is the renewal application itself. So this is the renewal application. As I mentioned before, it has not changed from last year. Here you're going to put the start date and end date for the calendar year 24. Just basic information. Proposed changes, you need to put that here. If you propose to reduce the amount of your grant, reallocation, consolidation, things like that, put that here. If you're changing the population served, put that here. Also, if you fill this, let's say that, fill this out as if you cannot reallocate YHDP. Fill this out as if the NOFA was the same as last year. Once we get the NOFA, I might ask for a couple changes. And what I'd like you to do is just indicate that somewhere on here. So you might fill this out and say no changes unless NOFA allows consolidation, reduction, etc. And then just a couple sentences on what that could look like. And I can even put that in here. And then I will flag that to add that in the application that you're going to, I'm going to add a little disclaimer there for more instructions. Next, lived experience on board of directors. Does the agency provide the participation of at least one person with lived experience on homelessness on the board of directors? Please indicate in your bylaws or governing documents of the board of directors, please indicate an attachment or indicate that yes, and then is there an attachment? And you'll find that in the attachment guide. Again, same as last year. If you got full points, do what you did last year. HUD monitoring, I don't believe anyone has been monitored. I'm not for sure on NMSH, but I know Goodwill and NMCA have not been monitored in the past 2 years by HUD. So you can just click no if you're NMSH, and I just don't remember. You're going to go through if there were findings, that sort of thing. Timely ELOCs draws. Have you been drawing down for all 4 quarters, completed within 90 days? There's something that you need to prove that with as well. So please remember to do that. Have any funds related to the renewal project request been recaptured by HUD for the most recently expired grant term? And then there will need to be narratives if that's yes. Then we move on to point in time count. Everyone had someone participating, so you can click yes. Everyone had people participating in the work groups. You can also click yes there. Project description, my comments here will be to please review the scoring criteria as well as these bullet points and just make it easier for yourself and the scorers by bullet pointing your response. So a bullet point, community needs, and then tell us how you're addressing the community needs. Target population to be served, bullet point, how you're doing that. Outcomes to be consistent with the system performance measures and outcomes specifically related to your project that we're monitoring through the data and standards process. No one is under a performance improvement plan right now. However, you should all have performance improvement initiatives because we can all be improving all of the time. So these are things that you have worked on with either the data and standards committee internally, something with me, something with Jay, something with your partners. You've all had these over the past year. And then Housing First assessment tool needs to be completed for the rapid rehousing and the PSH project. how you're addressing racial and ethnic disparities. I will change this. So we've been doing a lot of work with C4 through the Michigan Campaign to End Homelessness. And so I'd like to hear how your projects relate to that plan and the demographic report, as well as the qualitative and quantitative analysis reports that we have uploaded on the website, and I will share those links here. And then finally, your supportive service budget, or not budget, I'm sorry, your support services. Are you providing these services? Is a subrecipient, a partner, or a non-partner doing this? And then how often are you doing this? And then you're going to want to update the budgets. Again, because the 2023 GIW has not been released yet, if it still hasn't by the time that these are due, that's okay. I will make the changes, you know, together with you once it's released. So yeah, more to come on that. But if you want to get a head start, you can just follow last year's GIW, which is also linked on the website. And then finally, will your agency be able to provide the match requirements for all of your renewal projects? Yes or no? If no, I need to know why. And then here's the signature page, which needs to be read, reviewed, and signed by the executive director of your agency. And then finally, we are going to review the scoring criteria. And again, all of this is uploaded to the website. So here's the scoring criteria. You receive the most points for your project description, your Housing First standard summary score, if you completed the Housing First assessment tool, making sure you don't have underspent funding, and you're drawing down your money to make sure that that is being allocated appropriately. So this is just a scoring section. This is how much everything is worth. This is where the scorer or the reviewers will put your score for each area. And then here are the criteria. So this is how we're going to score each section, and if there's attachments, what the attachment needs to be. And it will tell you if there is a required attachment, it'll say yes. If not, there won't be anything indicated there. At the very bottom of this, so I'm not going to go through this entire thing. I'm sorry, not there. We have one more document that I'm going to pull up. And I'm going to pause this for 1 second. Sorry about this, guys. On the renewal application guide, and that is something I have not shared on this webinar. There we go. But again, it'll be on, this is everything you need to know. And I need to update this, obviously. Well, this will be from last year to help you out. But what I wanted to mention about this guide is everything more, any questions should be answered through this guide as well. This is how your quarterly performance scorecards are scored and what that looks like. Here is what I wanted to show you. The submission checklist. It's on page 7 of the renewal application guide. Your submission checklist will tell you here what's required, and it just helps you understand, okay, if this is included. Oops, we need to update some dates on this one. You need to indicate if it's included, if it's not applicable, if it's included with another renewal application. this is just your guide to help you understand what attachments are required as part of your renewal application. I will say this is not, it says at the top, the following items for renewal applications must be submitted to me by the 15th. Clearly label all attachments using the attachment number given. If an attachment does not apply, place a check in the NA column. So I need this submission checklist along with your renewal application. And then this is how you'll number the attachments in the zip drive or the email, or I'm sorry, zip drive, zip folder or email, however you want to include or get those to me. Please number them this way accordingly. So this will also be living on the website. All the information you'll ever need will be here. So again, lots of information, but the real highlights and the real things I want to kind of share with you today are to look at the renewal application guide. You need to submit your intent to apply forms first for your renewal application. You need to look at the timeline, and then finally your renewal application and scoring criteria. So about 5 or 6 documents that you're going to need to know forwards and backwards. It's all going to live on the website. And why don't I bring that up and show you right now how to get there. So you'll go to endhomelessnessnmi.com, or I'm sorry, .org. You'll do the work and then HUD Continuum of Care competition. You'll click on that. At the bottom, you'll have resources for last year's competition, this year, which is FY23 competition. And if you click on that, everything's updated right here for you. So I need to get all of our policies uploaded here, but the intent to apply letters there, the renewal application guide is there, the timeline is there for you, and then at the end of the day today, all of your renewal documents will be there as well, including this instructional video. So it's all there for you. If you don't see something or you see something that's inaccurate, please let me know immediately and we will work to fix that. The other thing I want to say is if you have questions, click on FY22 HUD COC competition, and then come down here for the applications, ratings, and rankings. And then you'll be linked here where everything that you submitted last year is here. So your scorecards are here. Your eSNAPS applications are here. Your renewal applications are here. Everything you submitted to me last year is on this website and can be a guide for you this year. Okay. And then as always, beyond that, please reach out anytime with any questions. So thank you all for watching this, and here's to a great competition year. Bye guys.